State and the Steelers. If you know, in the ticker at the bottom, I always have Jared's stuff in there. So go support his stuff. Jared does a great job. Chris Gorky said that Jared can sing the national anthem at the spring game and that he should be on radio with Steve Jones. So Chris Gorky is a big fan of yours, Jared.
I appreciate it, bud. I've had many people when we bring up Penn State stuff, I start talking and everyone just always goes like, you sound an awful lot like Steve Jones, the guy that does the Penn State stuff. I'm like, I get it all the time. I'm flattered, but I mean, I would like to meet this guy someday so I can really get a comparison.
Yeah, you know, like I was telling you, Brett met him the other day, and oh, can you hear me? Okay, sorry, my freaking mic was moving down.
Yeah, you're good, bud.
Yeah, Brett met him the other day, and he said that Steve listens to us, which is cool. He said he remembered me from something. I forget what he said, but he remembered me from something. I've seen him on the golf course and stuff, and yeah, he's always a very nice guy. Nice. But yeah, it's you know, I wanted to have Jared on because yeah, we'll see, man. Yeah. We'll get to it, Thomas. But yeah, it's cool that he watches. But yeah, go support Jared's stuff. You know, I was telling him about the algorithm, and it you know, this time last year we were getting like 10 views a video, and now we're getting minimum 200-300. That's because Penn State football, our show is in the algorithm. Basketball, our basketball show is not in the algorithm. And Jared's stuff, Jared, he gets views that are higher than what we did when we started. So that's good. You know, that's good start.
Yeah.
But YouTube just kind of they have to feel you out. It takes a while. It took me, you know, it took us 4 years. Well, yeah, 4 years now, almost to the day that we started on YouTube, and we just started, you know, blowing up this year. So yeah, it takes time, man. You know, hopefully yours is quicker, but yeah, YouTube is one of those things. Some people, I think the average is a year where you get monetized. It took us almost 4, so it is what it is. But yeah, we have a good audience now. But yeah, support Jared's stuff, and we're gonna start a POD store at some point, selling merch. Jared can have his own line, and we'll have a women's line because we have some women that listen to us.
Nice.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about McCarthy. Jared's not happy, which I understand. He's not my first choice, but we'll talk about some positives that I think a lot of people aren't considering.
Right.
But yeah, Jared, what do you think about the staff so far at Penn State? It's pretty much everything solidified at this point.
Yeah. So obviously we know Matt Campbell, Iowa State. And if I'm right, Taylor Mouser, he came from Iowa State too. He came along with him from his staff. He was the tight ends coach, correct?
Mouser?
Yes.
No, he was the OC at Iowa State. Paulie was the wide receivers guy.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Tight ends coach.
Well, it says here on the description, it says that he was says special teams offensive coordinator, tight ends coach. That's what it says for
who is Mouser.
It? Taylor Mouser. It says title offensive coordinator, tight ends on my screen right now. I'm looking at
Right. Yeah. So I think he must have been that at Iowa State as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's what they said. He spent the last 10 years, 10 seasons at Iowa State's coaching staff under Matt Campbell. Yeah. Said he was named 2025 Football Scoop Tight Ends Coach of the Year. I mean, you got to go start somewhere, right? I mean, it seems like that's the smart way to go, especially with a guy like, now is Matt Campbell, do they know what side he favors? Is he both? Like, does he more defense or offense? Like, what's his specialty?
So Matt Campbell, he's mainly offense.
Okay.
You know,
so that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense that the guy that he got. Guys. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense that his offensive coordinator is someone that he coached with at Iowa State. So that makes complete sense. Let's see. Dante Lynn. He was at USC, right?
He was at UCLA, USC, played at Penn State.
Yes.
And yeah, Campbell is an offensive guy. So that's another thing. Franklin and Brett and I have retired talking about Franklin in a bad way. Sometimes he'll come up.
Right.
But this is just a reference. Franklin couldn't put an offense together if they were paying him $85 million. And they were paying him $85 million. So he still couldn't do it.
Right.
But yes.
Well, I'm just saying, for me to bury my own, James Franklin, never bring it up again. I feel like James Franklin was the master of finding men and like putting them on the board. Like he knew what chess was. He knew what the pieces were. He just decided to put them all on the board incorrectly. I just feel like that's really what his issue was. Like, he always put like the king over here in the corner with a rook, and like the pawn was like for some reason with the knight. Like, it just seemed like he was all over the place, not putting places where it needed to be. So I feel like Matt Campbell, at least he'll know what strategy you're going to use to move the board forward, to use the chess analogy. Like, that's the thing about it, dude. It's a game of chess. Like, you got to know where the pieces go, how they're going to move, how you're going to like see your opponent and know how to make the moves right and make it work. And that's it. It's all about winning. And it's plain to see that Matt Campbell has spent a long time being a master at that. Like, in the sense, like, he's good at putting players where they need to go. It just seems like that's another thing with coaching. You need to also have a good support around you that does the same thing. So if he's an offensive-minded guy, that makes complete sense that Mouser is his guy, and that just solidifies that side of the ball. And yeah, I know that we need to make sure that we score. That's really the important part in this day and age. Like, as much as we are you a defensive guy too? I am.
I would have to say more offensive.
Okay, I'm a defensive guy. I'm pride on like knowing how to put the post up and not let you get through. Like, I just think there's something intriguing about that. Like, sure, anybody can, be flashy and all that stuff, but when there's something about a big old burly guy that just knocks you down like that, I find that more fun to watch. But I feel like it is important in this day and age to get your offense right. That is the direction in which the game is gone. It used to be a defensive heavy culture. Now it's more of an offensive culture. So I'm very much trusting Matt Campbell and Mouser to get that stuff right. And again, Penn State, it's a coincidence that you have the tight end connection. Like he says, he wasn't a tight end coach. That's kind of what we've slowly become. We used to be the linebacker, and the running back machine. We had a couple wide receivers here and there, but now all of a sudden it's like every tight end we put through, they're all of a sudden NFL prime and they're ready to go into the next stage. So it's a good thing that we got a guy who's a specialty with tight ends, because that's what we like to produce now. So, but as far as Dante Lynn, I looked it up a little bit. I saw that at USC, he took their defense, I think it was 2024, and they went from having 33 points per game or something like that to 24. So knowing that there is a huge improvement in, when he came in, all of a sudden they looked a lot better. That bodes well for us. That's a good thing. I mean, I feel like that is something that we had to address, at least from last year. I felt like there was a lot of things that just went wrong defensively for Penn State, because I guess they just did not have the talent there. I mean, they didn't focus on it. I don't know if James Franklin and company didn't look at the defensive side of the ball, but I always felt like our linebacking room wasn't flushed. The safeties were good, but they weren't they weren't up to par like what we are used to seeing from Penn State's defense. So I thought we had a real, what's the word? I guess just it was inconsistent. There was just not a whole lot going on with them. So I feel like bringing in a guy that can improve, that's the best, as good as you can ask for. So I'm pretty impressed with what they have built so far in terms of the coaching staff. But as far as the roster, Bud, the only thing I've heard recently is that what's his name? Spell. What's his first name?
Keemon Spell. Yep.
Keemon Spell. Yeah, that's the last name I heard of recently. From where did he come from? I know it was a transfer.
Keemon?
Is he a 5-star recruit or 4?
He's a 5-star, number one back in the country. He could reclassify to this year.
Okay.
But he's a high school kid, so he's not a transfer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
But no, so I mean, seeing that, yeah, you're right. I was saying that it was a 5-star recruit. So that was like, okay, so now we're starting to get these names in the conversation with Matt Campbell. Everyone was always talking, oh, well, it's just Iowa State or, nothing but Cyclones, And so I feel knowing that we can't actually get guys to come here, that's the thing. No matter what people try to say about, is it a great destination, Penn State? Like, is it a flashy destination? The history is there. We've had many decades of success. Like that, the name Penn State is always associated with, you always are in the conversation. You may not be the flashiest, you may not be, thought of as the Ohio States or Michigans of this Big Ten, but we're right there. I mean, we're like third or fourth always in the conversation. So these players that come here, they know that that's the tradition. They know the whiteout's the biggest atmosphere in all of college football. And that's just really what we sell. We sell these big moments. We have these great atmospheres. So I don't see why that the 5-star, 4-star recruits just cannot continue.
Yeah. We're in a good spot. When it comes to football, and what we're building right now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
An article came out about Franklin recently, basically saying that he was what we thought. He was not good at his job, basically.
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot wrong.
Yeah.
Again, I thank Franklin because I believe he worked very hard when he was here. And I felt bad that it didn't work out for him. I did. Even though he did himself zero favors and he carried himself very arrogantly and he was very, very insecure about criticism and stuff. I wanted it to work for him more than anybody. But he did a lot of things wrong. So you have to compare now to you have to compare what they're doing now to what they did before in terms of the previous staff. They're building a team that is going to fit them. Matt Campbell said it in his interview with LeVar on Roar Plus. He said, just because it looks good doesn't mean it is good.
Right.
It has to be a fit. Matt Campbell has made many good moves, in my opinion. He kept Terry Smith. He's bringing in good coaching. He's bringing in guys he's comfortable with, most likely. He got a defensive line coach from, I think, UCLA, or a defensive end coach from UCLA, defensive line coach from somewhere else, a DC from somewhere else, a running backs coach from somewhere else, and then he's got some guys from his previous staff. Terry Smith, like I said, he has retained many key players: Quentin Martin, Andrew Rapplier, Kobe Howard, Tony Rojas. I mean, he pretty much retained everything we wanted, except for Chaz Coleman. But again, Chaz Coleman, I think for him, it's from the neck up. He sees money or whatever. I don't know. But he should have stayed, but he didn't. Kept Yvonne Kamaju. And he brought in other guys. He brought in Iowa State guys. He brought in guys from all over the country. He's putting a good roster together, and he's got a good staff. It's pretty much solidified at this point. So, he's done a very, very good job to me. If I had to give him a grade in terms of, for me personally, it would be like an A+. But in terms of like college football, other people, you encompass it all together. People would probably give him like a BB+, because he didn't go out and get like these huge 5-star names out of the portal, these big time names. He didn't keep Chaz Coleman, stuff like that. But I think he's done a very good Penn State Terry Smith performance. He's done it in a very Penn State Terry Smith type of way. Right. So I'm very happy with what he's doing. And I'm very happy with what we're hearing about the 27 guys that are visiting. They're very happy, very impressed. They've taken shots at the previous coaches. It's not all flash and this is what you can do and all this stuff. Effort means nothing, according to that article in practice. This team, they're like, this is what we want from you.
Right.
How can you do that? Rather than this is what we can give you. You're great. You know, we're going to recruit you in because you're a 5-star flashy guy. It's a totally different thing. So it's totally turned around. It's a totally different approach. It's Penn State football again. So I'm very happy, but they have to lock in now and they have to build this roster and this staff into next season. They have to lock in. They're locked in, but 26 is here. We're in the season already. This podcast is going to be on here twice a week, all off season, at least twice a week,
nice.
Covering Penn State football. Not a lot of podcasts do that. We're going to be on here. It started after the national championship ended. Okay, the season is here. Now, the season started from the day Matt Campbell was hired, but the season officially started January 19th at like 11:30 p.m. So we got to lock in. We have a favorable schedule, and they're doing it. They're setting it up. It seems to be the right way. I don't want to get too excited. I'm very excited, but I don't want to get too excited, too ahead of myself. Now is the time they lock in, and we beat the piss out of Marshall, and then we take advantage of our favorable schedule the rest of the year. We're here now. So I'm happy with what they're doing. But did you ask me something specific or?
No, I was just trying to get a good fit for like what exactly like Matt Campbell's direction would be, because I mean, with again, one more mention of James Franklin, you know, when you have Andy Kolodnicki and Jim Knowles as the other guys, those are prolific names. Like they had good cachets at the places they were at, but you do see what happens when you bring big names with big names with big names. It's like if one of those big names doesn't work well with the other big names, it's all over the place then. Like it's not consistent. And I feel like because James Franklin thought he was a big name, he thought he could do no wrong, and he always knew what was going to happen, or he didn't know how he was going to, you know, the Jim Knowles and Andy Kolodnicki, what they were going to do, because I guess, I don't know if they butt heads all the time, but they just seem like they weren't on the same page. That's really what this comes down to, where you got a guy who thinks he knows what he's doing, and the results never match what he had. You can't take a 5-star recruit like Drew Aller and turn him into basically Paper Mario. Like that right there that's terrible. Like
he could be undrafted.
I mean, dude, that's terrible. Like I cannot believe how big we all made that news where we had a 5-star number 1 overall recruit coming to Penn State. That was like the craziest thing ever. And we witnessed basically what happens when the right guy is not giving him the right guidance. Like it was the worst matchup with James and him. And again, I don't know if Terry could have done any different. I don't know if a guy like Matt Campbell would have improved. I think it would have, obviously. I just feel like anyone could have been better than James. But the bottom line is, I feel like this guy may have a certain edge to him in the sense like he may have a competitive nature like James Franklin did, but it's clear that this guy likes to have a little more camaraderie. He has like a little more communication. I feel like having the right guys around you is going to make that point very clear, especially to the players. I feel as if like, and again, not to connect it with the Steelers, but you feel like when you watch certain teams with coordinators, with coaching, and like, does it all work together? I mean, those 4 guys between the head coach, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and the special teams coordinator, if all 4 of them work like points on a compass, then you're going to know where you're going. That's really what it is. If it points to the right direction, it's all going to, you know, find their way home. And I feel like with James and everybody, that thing was just spinning around like that. Like there was no direction. We didn't know where we were going. It just felt all over the place. So having that type of stability, I feel like is going to really set this team up for success. And if you keep that formula, that's really what's going to make a good building process for your players that come in. They're going to come into the culture. I mean, they're going to buy into it immediately. But then there's also the work that goes into it. You know, it's almost like what is it? Like, you watch those boxing movies and the boxer's just getting bloodied up something or other. And that trainer's just sitting there kind of like, look at me. Are you seeing me? Like, look what I'm going to tell you what to do. You got to look at his left, go in there, get under him and start working him. Like, they're going to tell you what to do. Mm-hmm. And that's really what we need. I feel like Matt Campbell is going to be a much better trainer in the ring than James was.
Developer. Yeah, we got to stay healthy, Thomas. Yeah, Ohio State seems to be Arthur Smith, dude. Are you Jared? We'll talk about that.
Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you so much for bringing that up. That is so funny.
We'll talk about that with McCarthy. My God, that's bad. It's not announced yet, Virginia Tech fanatics. Probably Rocco, but we don't hand out, we don't hand out starters. And that's one thing James Franklin never did, man. He said we have a quarterback battle every year. We don't have a starter. We're going in with, we don't know who it is. Fans knew, but yeah, we don't do that. Franklin doesn't either. But Virginia Tech fanatics, I wish you guys the best. I always did. I don't like your coach, but I wish him the best. And you're welcome on here, man, as long as you don't troll. You seem like you're just a inquisitive fan. So, but I'm going to buy Virginia Tech stuff and wear it on the show next year to troll. I'm probably going to get a Virginia Tech polo to wear to work. Make my coworkers laugh.
Just get the flag and start waving around.
Yeah, that's just, dude, they're gonna think that's hilarious. Every time I wear it, it'll be like, that's hilarious. Yeah, Rocco is the guy, most likely. But
I do like him.
Yeah, depth I don't think will be an issue. We need like another defensive end, probably another receiver. But yeah, we just got to stay healthy. Yeah, get a chokey hat. Masker already has. Yeah, so yeah, we got some depth too, Colton. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I'm really happy with the staff. He has a good staff he put together. Our defensive line coach was out west recruiting a 4-star kid. He's Samoan or something like that. Nice. I think he was in Hawaii. I forget where he was, Washington or Hawaii, out west. But that's the purpose of bringing in a guy like that. He has ties. We have ties everywhere. Right. But what we have to do is we have to recruit. We have a lot of talent locally. The Midwest, the Northeast is a lot of talent.
Terry basically owns like.
Yeah, he does. And we're going to out-recruit Franklin, I think, every year. But even if we don't, it doesn't matter. Because we're going to develop guys. It's not all about flash. Terry Smith was with the number 1 corner in the 27 class recently. I mean, they're putting in work. And I forget what high school they're at. I think it's like the high school that Abdul Carter went to. Is it McDonough? Hold on. I can't remember all these freaking names. Brett would know. LaSalle. So they're making ties with LaSalle. The only 2 offensive and defensive rookies of the year in the NFL from the same. So Penn State is the only school that has had the offensive player of the offensive rookie of the year and the defensive rookie of the year. Okay.
Nice.
Who are they, Jared? Do you know?
Like from this year?
Yes. No. From all time. Penn State is the only school that has an offensive rookie of the year and a defensive rookie in the year in the NFL. They're different years, but you have any guesses?
Again, don't. I feel like I'm going to be making a fool of myself, but offensively, was it Franco Harris?
No, I don't know if they had that back then, but
okay,
it was.
I didn't know how far back that statistic went. Can you just give me a ballpark? Just give me I'm sorry not to. So I don't want to guess.
It was in the Franklin era.
Oh, it was in the okay, so that helps a lot. Offensive rookie of the year. What position?
Well, running back and linebacker.
Oh, Saquon. Duh.
Saquon.
Yep.
And who else?
Micah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's a fun fact.
Yeah,
Penn State is the only school that has both, right?
The minute you said the Franklin era, I'm like, oh, yeah, I should get this in a second.
The only school that has both, and they're both from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay. That's insane. Abdul Carter, Micah Parsons, Saquon Barkley, all from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Dan Marino, Johnny Unitas, Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Dude, there's I don't think Pennsylvania has the most Hall of Famers, but it's close. I think Texas has number one.
You know what, dude? My dad and I just watched a video yesterday actually on that thing. Do we have, if I'm right, do we have 5 or 6? I think we have 6 Hall of Famers from Penn State. I know Franco Harris and Jack Hammer, one easily. Of them. I know that, but I'm saying.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of NFL Hall of Famers, but Penn State, but the state of Pennsylvania.
Oh, you mean that? Okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about when
Hold on a second. Let me look it up. Because I looked this up not too long ago. Okay, so come on, Google. Go faster. All right. U.S. states with the most Hall of Famers. Dude, that can't be right. States with the most NFL Hall of Famers. California, 32.
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania, 27.
Wow.
And Texas is at 4 with 23. Ohio is 3rd at 24. So, yeah, Pennsylvania. But Pennsylvania, dude, like,
yeah,
California is a massive state.
Yeah. I mean, their population's got to be at least tens of millions more than we do.
All right, so Alaska is the biggest. Texas, we have more than Texas, and they're bigger than California's way bigger. Texas is actually bigger than California. And then Pennsylvania and Ohio, they're way down the list in terms of size of the state, and that matters because that means population. I think.
What do we have? 12 million in this state? Is it something like that?
I think so.
I know that it's around that number.
California has the highest population. Texas has the second highest. Pennsylvania has the 5th. Ohio has the 7th. So we have less population, but more Hall of Famers. Yep. But, dude, Pennsylvania, man, it's just not to get off on a tangent, but, man, there's just something in the water. Like, Pennsylvania is football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, offensive and defensive rookies from the same school, only school that has both, and they're both from Pennsylvania. So, but here's the thing about Franklin, too, with recruiting. Like, he was at Penn State. Recruiting-wise, I thought he was a great recruiter. But if you think about it, he had, like, one top 5 class. So he wasn't that great. He really wasn't. And Penn State, and people have said this, too, Penn State sold the recruits, not Franklin.
Right.
And he's going to have a tough time down at Virginia Tech because it's Virginia Tech. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're probably not getting a ton of top talent to go there.
Yeah.
You know,
you got the military, you got the beach. I mean, there's.
Yeah. So, but, yeah, I'm happy with the staff, Jared. I mean, they're doing everything that they can. And I think they're doing a very good job. I think they're doing it the way they want to.
Right.
And I also read in that article that not one player left because they were told to leave. Matt Campbell said, if you want to stay, you can stay. So they didn't force anybody out.
Right.
Because this is a pretty talented roster as it is. So Matt Campbell is doing it the right way. They're doing it their way, and it's going to work. They have a hungry staff. So,
well, listen, Jared, I mean, they're coming into the Big Ten. They got a lot